Welcome, everybody. My name is Zell Sullivan. So, fandom in online spaces nurtures a truly unique artistic culture. Individuals who share a love for something, whether it be TV shows, books, video games, they have a way of uniting through artistic creation to show their love for that media. We see it in fan art, fan fictions, cosplay. Sometimes people band together and develop entire video games based on their love. The art can take many forms, but how often do we actually discuss that art within art historical contexts? That's my aim today as I inform you of the 2007 video game Yume and how it qualifies as a social practice artwork. This is community, collaboration, and the enigmatic internet. Yume as social practice. So this presentation is split into 3 sections based on the aspects of social practice I believe best represent this video game. I will define these terms at the start of each section and elaborate from there. Before we dive in, perhaps the most important term to define is social practice itself. So, social practice constantly pushes the boundary of what it's allowed to be, but here's the definition I work with. Projects driven by community collaboration and engagement with the audience rather than by the efforts of a singular artist or developer. In justifying Yume position as social practice, I refer heavily to the teachings of social practice artist and Professor Harold Fletcher. He provides the list of terminology I chose from to frame this presentation around. This leads to our first set of relevant social practice terms, enigma and augmentation. Enigma being a sense of mystery that builds intrigue, and augmentation being the process of adding on to something that already exists as a project. See, Yume is a fan-made work. It's inspired by another video game, Yume. Can you tell by the titles? Technically, Tuki is also pronounced Miki because two in Japanese is me, but I am going to keep saying Tuki out loud so you know which one I am talking about. Anyways, Yume could not exist without the community love and intrigue for the mystery left behind by Miki. So what is that mystery? In order to know Yume we need to know Yume. Title translates to Dream Diary, released in 2004 onto a Japanese online forum by an anonymous user only known as Kikiyama. This surreal psychological horror exploration game absolutely bewildered the internet. The formula of the game is simple as shown on the left, the instructions. There is no dialogue, no discernible plot, just a girl in her bedroom who can only get in bed, go to sleep, explore her dream world, wake up, rinse, and repeat. In her dreams, you encounter beyond bizarre imagery. And the most captivating part is there's no explanation for any of it. The developer's identity is unknown, and they have famously gone radio silent after releasing it. This led to it being an immediately beloved cult classic, and subsequently, it led to the development of Yume fan games, an entire genre of video games made by independent developers inspired by Yume. The very first of these currently 727 fan games was Yume in 2007, a mere 3 years after the release of Yume. Actually, on the 26th of this month, it's going to be 19 years old. So, Yume is by far the most collaborative and widely expansive of the fan games. It openly invites anyone to contribute to the project and join the community. It currently has 162 credited authors, 1,230 explorable dream worlds, and those numbers are only continuing to grow to this day. This brings us to part 2 and our second set of social practice terms. participation and collaboration, and interdisciplinarity. See, diving into the contents of Yume, we see the same formula as Miki. The player explores a vast dreamscape full of unexplained imagery, but due to the immense number of contributors, there's an unbelievable variety of styles, aesthetics, and mediums involved. Hence, participation and collaboration and interdisciplinarity, respectively. Let's look at some examples. So many artists have used Yume to explore surrealist ideas through pixel art, like the author Moriwo here, who often blends the eerie with the beautiful in their work, often venturing into collage territory between different pixel art styles to do it. Looking outside of Moriwo, we see various atmospheres and themes in Yume, ranging from the simple but unsettling to the admittedly very silly. Yeah. Well, Yume would not be itself without its community bringing that diverse range of visions to the table. Yume also features many different mediums as seen in these unlockable wallpapers. We see them in the forms of patchwork collage, photography, digital art, physical art. Even on this slide, we see 3D assets modeled in Blender. This slide also leads us to our third section and final set of relevant social practice terms. Augmentation again, the hanging out method, and becoming friends with your audience. All of which refer to the members of this growing community engaging with one another and continuing to build onto this project to this day. In social practice, the line between artist and audience is often blurred, as is the case with Yume. In 2022, a small group of developers that overlap with but are distinct from Yume created the Yume online project. This is a mod that has configured Yume and currently 16 of its fan games into a multiplayer mode accessible from your internet browser. The YNO project has not only become the most accessible way for people to play Yume, but it truly takes things to the next level in terms of building a sense of community. You can explore all this vast, strange scenery with friends and strangers alike. And as a final note, Yume already flips Yume psychological horror elements on its head, but this online mod only continues to subvert them. Take this isolated beach scene, for example. When alone, it could fill a player with a sense of nostalgia, loneliness, melancholy, whatever it is a player feels when playing this alone, it is entirely recontextualized with the presence of another player who can sit on those swings beside you. I think this is a perfect example of the community love and effort that can be felt in every moment of this game, and one that solidifies Yume effectiveness as social practice. That is the end of my presentation. Actually, that is the end of all of our presentations. So, thank you so much for sticking through us to the end. I would like to invite all my classmates back up to the stage for a brief Q&A.